learn what the pros do, copy that. But I think that it's cool that he's sticking with his guns and maybe working out kinks in his own game plan rather than just building it all up again from the foundations. So good effort from both players, I would say.
Yeah, I completely agree. Um, it's always really cool seeing. I mean, I hate playing against it myself, but it's really cool seeing the tavern builds and the random style. And Bitsage has told me before, I'm his captain. He's told me before that he's just playing to have fun. You know, he wants to win, yes, but he doesn't care if he's gonna win with the meta strat. He wants to win by having fun.
Okay, so we've got another game lined up.
Yes, sir. Jim G1 is the game name.
All right, I found it. And a human undead. This has got to be my favorite matchup.
Yeah.
I love watching it. If I'm coasting through YouTube, back to Warcraft's channel, I'm just hitting that playlist of human versus undead. I think it's just a bit of an underdog story, and if you're taking the human's perspective in there, and it's just so satisfying to see that human claw back from looking like they're in dire straits and perhaps coming to win in the end. So I'm a bit biased, and I'll admit it at the beginning towards SoftIceCream. I want to see the human take it down, but I'm very interested to see what strategy they decide to go through because there's so many different options that a human can take in this game.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Um, it's I don't know. There's been a turn with it recently that hasn't been the most fun to watch, in my opinion. Just seeing like humans trying to Fexpo against Happy, and then just trying to hold it while Happy does the same thing over and over and just always breaks it. But otherwise, I think everybody else in the Warcraft 3 scene is playing it really fun and really cool.
Absolutely. In our gym channel, oh, this looks like a Pally rifle build. Yep, that's what it is. In our gym channel, SoftIceCream is
Masters,
looking
thanks
for
for
some
following,
advice
man.
on how to beat undead, and I recommended a one base tier 3 rifle push style. As soon as human gets on 2 base, the macro becomes so much more challenging,
Of
and
course,
then
yeah.
it's harder to keep up with the micro decisions. So I find it's just a bit of a lower level when you're just kind of learning the matchup for the first time. That one base style can be a lot more helpful. But we do see Pally Rifle, I'm almost certain, as we
Oh
see the
yeah.
blacksmith coming up right away.
Yep. SoftIceCream has been practicing Pally Rifle for basically the whole week. It's his go-to against undead, and he's been practicing with Carson, actually paying for a little bit of coaching. And I don't know if you know Carson, but he's the coach for Dust League, or Team Dust. That's what I should say, not Dust League. One of the co-casters in Dust League, and giving him a little bit of advice. So hopefully that can translate into a victory for him.
Very cool. I like this base layout as well. I assume there's going to be another farm here plugging the gap, but just trying to um, reduce the number of openings into the base. On the undead side, we've got a Death Knight and an early Nerubian,
Yeah, that's a very
preventing
early
that
Nerubian.
harass.
And that's a super forward base build as well. Usually when I see that, it's almost like Crypt Lord first. Um, and almost like a full wall off base build.
Yeah, really interesting to see that. This Tomb of Relics is perhaps could become vulnerable in the mid game for run by pushes. I know as human, if you're looking to do a little bit of damage to the base, Tomb of Relics is a great target to hit, as well as those slaughterhouses when they come up. But maybe he's thinking, I can put the slaughterhouses in the back, protect my tier 2 buildings, so when they're creating, they're a little less vulnerable.
Yeah, and I mean, if it works, it works. You know, uh, at a certain point, you should be able to always protect your slaughterhouses and make sure that they don't get canceled, regardless. But if that works for you at this lower level, then that's awesome. And I do like the pretty forward Nerubian tower. It can hit basically anything that comes up to fight at the main. And we do see a instant Death Knight harass, but no Scout Acolyte, so he doesn't actually know where the human is. Maybe expecting instant Expo. That's not what we're going to see. Death Knight is in, Rod of Necromancy used, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to find any
Oh, is this
actual
just around?
pickups. Oh, it's so
Nope.
close.
It was pretty close.
I think he had surrounded himself with the Skeleton Warrior, but okay, does get a single peasant, but obviously he moved the Skeleton Warrior out of the way and was fine.
So if I'm in the human's position with this Pally rifle army and we're facing this early harass, I love just taking the rifles and focusing down those skeleton warriors as soon as they come through. It feels like it just reduces the undead's damage potential by a ton, and it also is a favorable armor matchup with that piercing versus heavy. So we'll
Yeah,
see what he does.
I completely agree. And focusing on skeleton warriors, putting lots of good damage onto the Death Knight, pretty solid. Always nice to get a little bit of extra experience and put some more pressure on your opponent. And we're gonna see Gigabyte going by sheeban, maybe diving the main, but he pulls back before he can get trapped.
This is an opportunity for SoftIceCream to tech into tier 2. He's missed his timing, perhaps by a little bit.
Yeah, and needs to put down a fourth farm pretty immediately. But he is getting, okay, black gunpowder and the farm. So he's good on his upgrades, he's good on his macro a little bit, but needs to tech probably now.
A player's forces are under attack.
And I'm not sure if he's trying to go for a surround here or if he's just trying to kite the shots. But doing some pretty good damage to the Death Knight.
I hope he doesn't start a creep camp here. It's tempting when you see the undead turning away. Say, oh, I might have time just to start it, but I think that would be a mistake. These trappers throw out nets, and that can turn the tide of the battle pretty quickly, especially when you see a third fiend joining the army, and now it's looking pretty even for both players.
Yeah, and that's something that we had to work on a little bit in his games this week. Was he would kind of push the undead back a little bit, and then he would immediately start a camp, and it's like, no, because then the undead would obviously come back and creep jack and kill 2 riflemen, and then he would never be able to get a massive rifleman that he needs. And but now it looks like he's getting towards it.
He's missing his tech timing by up to about 2 or 3 minutes now. I feel like because he needs to get to tier 3, whether he's going to transition into knights or inner fire rifles with priests, or perhaps even griffins, but he's just postponing the amount of time, or increasing the amount of time before he can actually do that.
Yeah, and maybe just a bit of a mental mistake. Focusing on other things, focusing on the vault, focusing on more supply for more rifles. He did lose 1 rifle creeping, which is definitely unwanted. Especially because he had mana and he had the Holy Light time up. But we'll see what he does now. Death Knight is still only level 1, so he could have a really good timing here, being so close to level 3.
Once that paladin gets level 3, the Holy Light becomes so much more dangerous to those undead heroes. Can knock off 200, or I think it's 150 HP per Holy Light. And it's got quite the range as well. So if you can knock down a good amount of HP with the rifles and then surprise the undead with a quick Holy Light, it can be quite deadly. But we do have a creep jack here coming in.
And he finishes the creep camp, loses the item, and this Death Knight's honestly got to be pretty careful. I think he needs to. I think SoftIceCream needs to turn around and focus on the rifles or the Crypt Fiends now, especially that he's kind of got them. Could have gotten us around on one of them, but that's totally fine. At the very least, he doesn't lose. Did he lose 1 rifle there, or did he lose nothing?
He did lose 1, but it was at the end of the creep camp, so he was quite low to begin with.
Okay. And he did tech in the middle of that, so he is halfway to tier 2 now. And getting his first defense upgrade. Meanwhile, the Lich is
Undead stalled out in tier 2 as well. No slaughterhouse yet, no tier 3 tech. Perhaps a bit of macro slipping with our wood production. Yeah, I can see he's making another ghoul now. I think he's realized that. Great Holy Light to counteract that nuke. Huge fiend kill. I would like to see those skeleton warriors just getting focused down one after another. They don't take a lot of damage. Yeah, there it is. Paladin out of mana now. Same with the undead heroes. Going for the Lich instead, I like that. Lich doesn't have a lot of health. And if the undead's not careful, pretty easy to lose him in micro.
Yeah, and putting any damage, especially onto the heroes when Death Knight has no mana, is always pretty awesome. I would like to see maybe like a militia run up to the camp, to the lab, just to get a reveal. So that the burrow can't just stop everything. But if he Holy Lights that Crypt Fiend, that's a dead fiend.
He's got the mana for it. There it is. So you got to think, if you're the undead player and you see all of your heroes low on health and low on mana, you're thinking, oh, I wish I had a statue. And yes, we do see the slaughterhouse now, 1/3 of the way through.
Yes, sir. And tier 2 is done for SoftIceCream, so now just kind of waiting on the Blood Mage to come out and maybe a bit more of a macro slip. He's got to be wondering, where's my mana? Where's my mana? I need a Blood Mage. I'm out of mana. And I don't think he should be fighting this without mana. I think he just needs to kind of walk away. Oh, but going for the Lich.
Just shoots what's there. Stop the amount of time your rifles are spending walking, and increase the amount of time that they're firing. We do see the Blood Mage queued up now. It's good. Juggling that macro in the middle of this micro-intensive fight is challenging. And we see the militia come down. The boys have been called.
And the militia get the Lich kill.
An absolute out of left field. That was awesome.
And I don't know if, with all these burrowed Crypt Fiends, I don't know if Gigabyte
Is he
sheeban
going to try to
can hold
expand on
this.
his base?
He might.
He's got the resources for it. I would.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, speaking from personal experience, expanding on this expansion in tier 2 definitely works.
Oh, it definitely works. You know, you kicked my ass with it.
It's I think sometimes when the game state goes to something that players aren't familiar with, that's not in the plan. I love that part of Warcraft 3, where players are kind of thinking on the fly, seeing if they can come up with solutions to problems they haven't maybe seen before. And we do kind of see that. Oh, okay, we got the first statue coming out. Not yet tier 3 yet. We would love to see that orb on the Lich soon.
Yeah. And brings in 5 Crypt Fiends this time. Has a 6th ready to unburrow. And I think it's time for SoftIceCream to call his army back together.
Yeah, he's got. I don't think he can take this fight anymore. There's so many fiends, and with a statue in the back, fighting regen. That's a great TP. I like the heads up play.
Yeah. Just understand that he's not going to win this game. Loses 1 peasant, but loses nothing else. And honestly, great TP. And on his Blood Mage, he spends some of his money, gets double scroll of healing, potion of lesser invulnerability, scroll of protection, and dust of appearance. So spends all together. Oh my god.
That's a lot of gold.
It's 875 gold, and he still has 600 banked currently. So I'd like to see him tech into tier 3 and go into Knights or Griffins at this point.
Absolutely. He's got a rifleman in the north in his base as well. I wonder if he'll find his way back into a control group. Perhaps he'll spend his time searching into the woods.
And especially
guarding
if
the
he could
peasants.
Get that 2-0. Oh no. Look at this timing.
This could be a deadly creep jack.
He has the mana,
Rifle.
but so does
Oh,
the
one
other
rifle
player.
down. He's able to take himself away from that creep camp pretty well.
Yeah, now he just needs
We
to
do
go
need
back
to
in.
re-engage quick, though. Re-engage quick. Don't let your undead have it.
A player's forces are under attack.
But sheeban maybe not trusting himself to creep it.
I like that sentry.
Yeah,
Just
great
seeing
sentry
if he can give himself some time.
And he's got another great sentry board right outside the red camp, just in case SoftIceCream tried to creep that himself.
Coil Nova going down on one rifleman. Holy Light's not there yet, but we do have some mana drain coming down on the Death Knight. Undead army's almost out of mana. I'd like to see some target focus onto these statues from the rifles. This is a great armor type matchup. They've only got 500 health and they can't be coiled. But we do have SoftIceCream's army getting hit from both sides, from the north in the creeps and from the south in the undead. He's caught in a rock in a hard place. His army doesn't know which way to fire.
Yeah, and he's in a lot of danger. Needs to get that last fiend kill. Kills the sentry ward and kills the berserker. Question mark?
He is fighting both armies pretty effectively, I have to say.
Yeah, and both players are slipping a little bit on their macro. SoftIceCream banking 1,200 gold. sheeban banking 1,400 gold. But that's just the way of some of these lower level
Huge
games.
scroll of healing coming down.
Oh yeah.
We do have tier 3 for the undead. We do have abominations coming. That disease cloud's going to be huge. And we do not have divine shield on the paladin, so this could be quite dangerous.
Yeah, and SoftIceCream just needs to mana drain back onto his paladin. And honestly, not too bad of a fight. Killed like 3 fiends, maybe 4. I think 4 fiends, yeah. And
Even
held
supply for
off.
both players. We still have a couple of big prizes left on the map in our red camps. Neither player venturing forward to take them. And we do have SoftIceCream teching into tier 3 now. We have 2 Abominations and Disease Cloud queued up
Player's
next.
forces are under attack.
And that
I
would be
like this
awesome.
play
He's also queued
from the undead.
6 Crypt Fiend, or 3 Crypt Fiends in his crypt. Book of the Dead, awesome item in this tier 2, especially while the undead doesn't have Devours yet.
Human player electing to go for none of the tier 2 buildings, although he does have 3 options. I'm kind of curious about that one. It does feel bad playing priests in this kind of style because they do go out of mana pretty quick, and they are such juicy targets for the undead. But you got to think of the long-term game with those priests and the fact that they can unlock Inner Fire, which is a win condition in itself. It makes the riflemen bump them up to about 10 armor each, which is huge. They become, each one of those is like a huge tank against all the undead forces.
Yeah, and the extra plus 10% damage is always really nice too, especially if you can get, you know, say a Scroll of the Beast from either Marketplace or a King.
Yep, doesn't hurt at all.
And SoftIceCream with some pretty solid shop control, honestly. Has another healing scroll, has 2 invul potions, has a potion of mana on his paladin, which I'm not sure he really actually needs, just because he does have a blood mage. But it's nice that he's at least spending the money on something, right? He's not just completely forgetting to macro and forgetting to use items.
I'd like to see the Paladin get split away from the Blood Mage in this fight. Getting that Siphon Mana 3 is such an important ability in these team fights. And I don't think he's going to get it if the Paladin's soaking up this extra experience too.
It is an amazing thing to have, but I think that Holy Light 3 is more important. I'm not sure. It's kind of a hard question, right? Like, which one do I actually want more?
I think in that situation, though, I'd rather have one than neither.
Reptilian, what does Sybil mean?
So we do have an undead push here coming into the north. A very scary looking army with 53 supply. We've got 5 fiends, 2 A-bombs with Disease Cloud, and a kitted out Death Knight with a Potion of Invul. There's a big one there. A Scroll of Healing and a Replenishment Potion ready to go.
Yeah.
Human player not too sure what direction to go. Stuck in the bottom without a TP.
Yeah, and that's a big slip in the macro. He obviously has the money for it. I have a question from chat, which is from DXYZNEYTV. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Dixon native. He says, "Is this game still active if I buy it?" What would you say, Mr. Honor?
I think if you're a fan of Warcraft 3, this game can still kind of take you back to what it was like perhaps before. Now, myself, I was totally a fan of Warcraft 3. I played through the campaign. It was a lot of fun, and really just got into the competitive scene in the last couple of years on the hopes of Reforged being awesome. Reforged being a bit of a disappointment, to say the least. Kind of took the spirit out of these players, but we do have an engagement. We should refocus here. Yeah. We've got Holy Light's coming down, Siphon Mana coming on that Death Knight. And this Abomination looks like it's going to fall.
Oh no!
Oh man, a huge nuke on the Blood Mage. We do have Holy Light, level 3 unlocked. Is the nuke enough? Big Scroll of the Dead used.
And if he
his rifle's doing a ton of damage.
Oh, buys the Blood Mage
Tavern
back.
Revive. Great play. We need a Holy Light on the Blood Mage. I think this engagement is going to favor the human.
Yeah, the Blood Mage has the Scroll of Healing, so oh my god, needs to pop the Invul.
Invul potion used, great reflexes.
Now pop it again.
Teleport! No! Blood Mage falls again!
And he has all the mana in the world. Why? Oh, he just needs to use it.
Oh.
And honestly,
absolute back-breaking fight.
Yeah, he probably could have bought back right before he finished the TP. But we do have Griffin Aviaries, double Griffin Aviary up in the main, and 2 Griffins on their way. And I'm not sure if
Zen have web.
there's any web.
That's
That's the main question. He did get pretty proactive burrow, which is pretty cool. So if he's smart, he would have gotten proactive web as well. But who knows? And there is a town hall at the bottom.
We've got a single peasant plodding away, building this with just his own 2 hands right from the start. It is slowly coming up.
These poor militia, they're gonna run away, but they're gonna lead him straight to this town hall, and that's
A
gonna get
player's
canceled.
forces are under attack.
But to finish off my answer to that question, the game has been kept alive by the fans at this point. And if you're looking for a great gaming community, look no further. Warcraft 3 is where you're at. I've played in. This is my 4th season of Gym Newbie League, which has been awesome. Having coaches to help support and learn the
Town
ropes.
is under siege.
And also another fan hosted league called Washed Up League for North America, which reigns competitive games right from the bottom to the top skill levels in the country or in the region. Yeah, the fans are doing a great job of keeping this game fun and competitive and active.
Yeah, and I completely agree. The game is, I mean, it's more alive than it's ever been. It's still not, it's not like League of Legends level. It's not even StarCraft 2 level at this point, but it's very alive. Um, People always say it's dying, but I think they're maybe just not aware of how many people actually do still play.
I think people have been saying Warcraft 3 is dying since 2007,
Yeah.
so that might say something.
Oh,
We've
no,
got a
this-
huge
Oh, the Paladin!
Paladin falls. Oh no! Disaster strikes.
And SoftIceCream calls GG. We will have
Taps
a
out.
GG. Reptilian in chat says, whose voice is Cithran's? This voice is Cithran's. He also says GNL is rigged. I completely 100% agree. It's always been rigged from the very start. The Tavern is going to win. And it's also a scam. I also agree with that. It is just a scam to get these low-level streams some views. And the score now, Nega, is 1-0 for Gigabyte. And we go into game 2. Reptilian, Bushimo, thank you guys for following during the game. You are both very handsome men. One Polish man and one Australian. You are Polish, right, Reptilian?
So I think both players had a pretty solid early game plan figured out, but then when it came to the mid game, I saw a lot of macro mistakes, which is bound to happen. But I think that in this game, especially at this skill level, players tend to prioritize micro over macro, and it's to their downfall. Not getting the Blood Mage out was really costly. Staying on tier 2 without any tier 2 buildings was costly as well. The Undead not teching into tier 3 or building slaughterhouses for a while. It's a bit of a shame, but to get good at this game, just practicing a build order, practicing against the AI can be a huge start, and it can do way more compared to just grinding ladder games in the ladder, even though it's a little less fun.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's hard to, I mean, if you can get with a coach who can be in your ear, who can be like, okay, go do this right now, go do this right now, go do this right now, and can give you that sense of urgency that you need in Warcraft 3 to always kind of be on top of the game and on top of fighting and whatnot. That can give you a lot of help too. It's so hard to kind of learn on your own, but there's also at the same time so many resources available.
And lots of players that are happy to share their knowledge. It's that's what I found that's been really cool. A big part of GNL is that you've got coaches that can help you and get better at the game. But I actually spent about an hour or so working with a coach from a different team, just out of the kindness of his heart, to help me in my matchup against Night Elf.
Yeah,
And,
that was with Nega, right?
Pretty cool. Yeah, Nega helped me out, and that was really cool.
Game name is GYM G2. So Gym Game 2.
Got it. Terranus stand.
Yes, sir. Turnistan. A good loser map for human. And SoftIceCream saying in the in our team chat he thought he teched, but oh well. So that definitely explains his his late tech timing.
I have to say, I've done that myself, and it feels bad. But I think you just got to shrug your shoulders, and I think he's got the best attitude here. Go into game 2 with a clean slate. Say no big deal. Let's turn over a new page.
Yeah, and SoftIceCream is one of the nicest guys. Always so excited to kind of play, and really excited to root for his fellow teammates, and just a great guy. So hopefully we can get a win from him here and go the full distance. And this time we'll have SoftIceCream in blue, starting in the bottom right. Oh my god. And sheeban in the top left in red.
We should have got them wearing their team colors. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah. Reptilian, you are very special.
So sticking with the Pally rifle, I like it. Oh, sorry.
No, you're totally fine. Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And the early game was not broken, so might as well do it, right? I'll be interested to see what he tries to creep here on TS. You know, some harder camps to creep at the start, and some camps that are way too easy with too little playoff, like the apprentice.
I'll be right
Wizards.
back. Just 1 second.
Sounds good. And we will get, again, a standard undead build. So standard DK Fiends. Again, with this pretty forward initial base. We'll see if he goes, again, with an instant Nerubian Tower, which he does. Kind of an interesting choice. Will set back some of the timing. But if it makes him feel more secure, then you might as well do it. You start with blacksmith, then altar, because those take. Yes, his fucking security greed. I agree, Carson, and yeah, SoftIceCream been playing with a little bit not off, but a little bit different tweak on the Pally rifle build. Has just a little bit different timing. Probably not preferable, honestly, but it's all right. And the rifles almost come out right on time.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
We've got the undead venturing off into the south. We've got the human hero just about to come out. You know what? I would like actually to see him take the shop camp to start. And it looks like that's the way he's going.
I think he's going to do the kobold. It kind of looks like he's headed towards that.
Okay, yeah, the rifle just runs right past his shop and is going to the kobolds.
Oh, but don't pull it yet. What's happening?
A player's forces are
Or
under
maybe
attack.
pull it now. It's totally fine. But that's going to be a lot of damage on this rifleman, and that's going to be a lot of holy lights pop pretty quick. And this Death Knight might even be able to get a rifleman. Though we should never truly be able to get a rifleman.
So the human player taking the best of this engagement so far. The undead's going to go into the base and see if there's any damage he can stir up, or maybe just for a scout.
A player's
Not sure what he's
forces
going
are
to be able to
under attack.
accomplish back here, though, with no corpses
Yeah, and
and just one skeleton.
it's always fun to see the undead player like dive a base a little bit. Always risky and dangerous, of course, but if you can get it, might as well. I also think it's hilarious when somebody dives the base because there's an open slot, right? And they're like, oh great, I'm gonna get some kills, and then they have a farm built behind them and they get trapped and die.
Oh, that's when I learned how to do that. That was
Yeah.
it's the most satisfying thing to see that poor blade master just stuck behind the farm.
Yeah.
Oh, seeing that death was, I think, one of the big things that sold me to that this says this game is this game is worth learning.
Yeah, I completely agree. I off-race orc sometimes, very rarely, mostly against Night Elf, but I got an orc mirror and I trapped an opponent's blade master and I killed it in my base, and I was like, yes!
Wow, that's
Most
awesome.
amazing feeling.
Yeah, pretty uncommon to do that orc versus orc. Yeah, so he hits the tech timing perfectly.
A player's
Humans a little bit
forces are under
faster
attack.
compared to the undead. Lumber mill coming up. Arcane tower in the main for extra defense.
Yeah, and two fiends Two Fiends rallied in the base, a third one coming out very soon, and the Ziggurat timing is pretty solid. Tech for the undead, almost halfway done, and tech for the human, 2/4 done, or 3/4 done. So actually faster tech for the human, which is not something that you see very, very often.
Undead's scouting unsuccessfully for this human army, not knowing kind of where to look. Going up to the top right gold mine and actually taking some damage on the Death Knight. And leaving the human to creep these two middle camps and tearing us down. And these are some of the only major contested camps where it seems like either the player takes on a big camp and gives up the middle to the other player, which we often see in Human vs. Undead. But we've got 2 level 2 passive items up for grabs in these middle places. Paladin taking on both of them.
And he gets triple ring +3.
With Devotion Armor, that puts our Paladin up to 50% or 48% damage reduction. That is crazy.
Yeah, and I'd actually really like to see him creep the Merc camp, and then with the Merc camp, just get some Berserkers, because they're stronger riflemen in the early game, maybe a little bit less HP, but they do much more damage.
A player's forces are under attack.
Tier 2 finishing, we got the Blood Mage coming up. I would like to see a Sanctum. If no, we do have the resources now.
Yeah, and Tier 2 also finished for the Undead. Again, a Lich. And Slaughterhouse earlier this time.
I like the use of Skeleton Scouting here for the natural. The Undead's trying to keep an eye on his opponent. And we got the Mercenary camp engaged by the human. So this is going to be Paladin level 3 and Death Knight level 1. That is not feeling good. And the Death Knight's now seeing in the middle. All of these camps have already been crept, and you can feel the heart just sinking down for that undead player.
And maybe the best item that he possibly could have gotten, Scroll the Beast for the Paladin. And will be level 3 gauntlets for, I guess, a little bit of extra HP and damage. And get the Berserker. Get the Berserker! No!
A player's forces are under
Alright, but
attack.
Blood Mage
I don't mind that on the. I don't mind getting the Berserker. Rifles benefit from your upgrades a bit more, and they're pretty expensive for what they're worth, in my opinion,
For sure.
at this stage in the game.
Yeah, the Berserker definitely costs a little bit of extra gold and lumber, but it's the same supply cost, but does more damage. And then with Scroll the Beast, I think it's super worth it, in my opinion. But yeah, 16 armor on Paladin now, and Tier 3 tech now for SoftIceCream. So his macro this game is much better. Maybe feels a lot more confident. This has been...
So when I see Tier 3 before Tier 2 buildings, that tells me Griffins. I wonder if they're going to continue on this path.
Oh, and Sheeban gets Illyria's Flute of accuracy, not alacrity. And he's power leveling his Blood Mage. Really nice to see.
Yep. Good control from the human here.
Yep, needs to put a single Holy Light on the Blood Mage, but there it is. And here come the Crypt Fiends. With level 2 Death
First
Knight and
major
level 1.
engagement here.
A player's forces are
We've got 6 rifles, 7 rifles for the human. Paladin's a bit separated. We see the first Coil Nova coming down on the Blood Mage. Do we have the Holy Light? We do. That heal coming way faster than last time. Micro that rifle to the back. Keep them all firing as much as you can.
Yeah,
human
and
players doing a great job on their Holy Lights.
yeah, and he's using his Banish well. Maybe needs to use his nuke with units that he banishes. So like do quite a bit. He banished the Death Knight, but I would have liked to see like a Holy Light on it if he's going to be doing that. And again, needs to be siphoning mana back into Paladin, but kind of far away from that for the moment.
Tier 3 tech started for the Undead. And we see statues coming out much sooner compared to the last game. Both players ironing out their kinks in Tier 2 and putting on a bit of a show for us in this Tier 3 game. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and Sheeban getting web right now, preempting the Griffins. And more siphon mana on the Death Knight. Needs to be siphoning mana back to the Paladin. ZTX Smurf, thanks for following.
We just need one more Crypt Fiend kill before we get level 2 Siphon, which will really turn this battle around, something we didn't see in the last game.
Yeah, for sure, and SoftIceCream playing this much better than he was before. I like the parry up on the Blood Mage, makes him so much more tanky. has almost as much HP as the Paladin, and certainly both heroes have more HP than either of the undead heroes at this point. Tier 3 for the undead, halfway done, and the first statue is out. Second one coming very shortly.
A player's
I think we got to
forces are
change the
under
parry
attack.
up for the Scroll of the Beast. Swap those 2 items, and we'll get so much more effective health on that Paladin with that 49% damage reduction.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just think the Blood Mage needs it a little bit more. Definitely needs the HP more.
So we got level 2 and level 2 heroes, nearly Death Knight 3. He'll get this on this next pack, clearing out the natural. And we've got a second big consumable dropping for the human on the bottom left camp.
Yeah. And something, one Griffin Aviary going down in the human main right now.
And starting a tier 3 expo as well for the human.
Yeah. One thing that I was going to say is with these kind of lower level games, these lower MMR games, you tend to get both players kind of almost afraid to engage with each other, right? So it's an interesting conundrum where it's like, we're probably going to get to see tier 3 every single game because no player is going to go for the kill until they get to like 80 supply, 70 supply, 60 supply. But great item for the Paladin with Potion of Greater Mana.
A big part of learning this game is understanding each and every matchup and understanding the timings of when you're weak compared to when the opponent is strong. And until you kind of get the feeling of that, it's really hard to feel confident in a push until you've got your kind of super death ball army where you're feeling, oh yeah, I'm feeling good. But once it gets to that point, even the micro itself and the big fights is just so hard to manage. So it's kind of fun to watch the big clashes and just seeing what players decide to prioritize.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part, obviously. It's trying to estimate where your opponent is, not just on the map, but in their own like tech tree, in their own everything, essentially. Almost becomes impossible.
Scouting is often one of the last things that are picked up by new players to the game, and we kind of see a bit of that today.
Yeah, and without scouting, without especially like good scouting, it can be almost impossible to do what you're talking about and estimate your opponent.
Okay, Undead coming in with full mana on both heroes. Big Nova coming down on the rifles. We've got a Scroll of the Beast popped on the Undead. We've got Crypt Fiends with a plus 11 damage right now. They're absolute monsters.
And while I like this fight, I actually wouldn't mind seeing...
the Blood Mage is going to fall. He's going down.
No!
Oh, no Holy Light. But we got Paladin level 4. We need to get a teleport out of here. This is not your fight to take.
But he pops the Scroll of the Beast, and he's going to fight this fight. And
he's sticking it out.
All right.
Healthstone used. He's got Potion of Greater Mana for more Holy Lights. Griffin is at low health.
And he can definitely take this fight. Keep going forward. Just needs to, obviously, just keep fighting.
Wow, that Scroll of the Beast, like you said, is showing its worth. Holy smokes, these rifles are looking fierce.
Plus 7 rifles, 27 to 39 damage per shot, and they all attack so fast. I know that one auto attack nerf happened, but whatever, man.
We've got a statue queued up in the Undead, and Abominations are coming.
Yeah, and sheeban, I think, overestimating his own fighting capabilities at the moment. The Scroll of the Beast does wear off, but I don't think he can take this. If he forces the Paladin... Okay, TP on the Paladin. I guess he got worried that he was going to...
I do like that conservative teleport. That Coil Nova can really come as a surprise, and especially we were rocking Devotion 2. There's no Divine Shield on the Paladin. But stuck in their base perhaps now. Yeah, it looks like they're going to have to destroy... Don't destroy the barracks, man.
No.
Oh no, that's the wrong choice. He could have
gotten out with the shop.
Or kill the farm.
Or yeah, with the farm. And he does put down a shop behind it, but I guess he's going straight Griffins, so what does he need a barracks for at this point?
That's a really... Yeah, you can tell he didn't even double-click his TP, he aimed it. Hoping not to get trapped, but perhaps just forgetting there's a hole in his base.
Yeah.
Super unlucky.
I don't know, was that a double click? Because shouldn't the double click put him right in front of the castle?
Puts him into the bottom right. Always to the bottom right.
To the bottom right. So I don't think that was a double click. I think he clicked on it in his inventory and then clicked somewhere on the mini map. I think that's the only way he could have gotten into that. Which is like That's you're on the way there, right? With not double clicking,
Yeah.
but hurt him this time.
So we just used 250 gold for a scroll of healing on the army here. I think if we had priests in our army, we would be able to heal ourselves back up much more efficiently.
Yeah.
They do take a bit more micro potential, but the rest of your army doesn't really. So if you can spend most of your time and energy thinking on the priests, I think that would be the next step for SoftIceCream to bring that into his game.
Yeah,
and Carson in chat says, hope you got animal war training. He did get animal war training before he had to kill his barracks, but
That's a great
here
point.
we are now.
One griffin left behind in the base, along with one rifleman as well. That's significant. That's 7 supply without the human army there. Web coming down, finding these griffins, and they're just food for the machine. A good lightning shield used by the undead.
And griffins, even though they have 975 HP, just get melted at this point. He is siphoning back into his paladin, which is really nice to see. Invul force.
I see those holy lights. Get the holy lights out.
And there's a good amount hurt for the undead, but he's finding kills. And SoftIceCream is down to 48 supply, running away now.
Oh, not a single holy light used in that fight. That's gotta feel bad.
Yeah. Needs to kill the statue. Okay. We got the statue.
Even
Needs
just
to walk
toss them onto
away.
the Death Knight.
Oh, and
The Death Knight's only got 315 health. If
yeah.
we just get 2 holy lights, that's in kill range. Oh,
Banish.
the banish comes out. Is this it? We're gonna see the holy light.
No. And Ogre Mauler bot. Forest Troll Berserker bot as well. Good holy lights onto the Blood Mage. Knows how to keep his second hero alive. Needs to pop Invul because he's almost surrounded. But needs to walk away. Invul's up.
Oh, these rifles
Holy
just
light
in the
the
middle of
DK.
everything.
Holy light the DK. Yes!
Oh, he gets him! He finds a kill!
Oh, I don't know if it's going to be enough to save him. Needs to pull these griffins into the fight. He's got 2 queued in his base. Oh, and level
Oh, he
5
found
he
Divine
goes to Divine Shield. And just walk away. Just survive.
Just get out of there.
It's coming up. It's coming up. He's going to be able to get an attack.
There's no he could banish. He could banish the paladin.
He could.
He could time it right. Where's the... Can he banish?
Oh!
Oh. Just bonked. Just absolutely bonked by the Mauler. One crack in the head and he's out. We do not have the resources for Tavern Revive. If we do cancel some of those queued griffins, we can find it.
No, and I'm afraid that he's just going to...
Oh, there was a staff on the Blood Mage too.
There was.
Oh, that feels
We
bad.
get Taverned DK, so the army's fast now. It can chase down this Blood Mage. I'm afraid that he's just going to call GG, even though he's got 6 Griffin queued and a 7th alive.
And this expansion's been running for most of this tier 3 game so far.
Yeah.
The Griffins are coming. He's called the cavalry. The Blood Mage. Oh, false. This Ogre Mauler is a murderer. 2 hero kills from the Mauler. Oh man.
Oh no. And everything's falling apart.
Oh no.
And he calls GG. No. Dang it.
Okay, this Ogre Mauler is gonna eat well tonight. Holy smokes. MVP to the Mauler.
MVP to
2
Mauler,
bonks, 2
indeed.
kills.
Oh my lord. And that was a good game, honestly. SoftIceCream kind of had sheeban on the ropes for most of the game, I would say. Had the advantage of the expo, and just I think is unexperienced with the tier 2, the tier 3 fights, and maybe just doesn't know what to do in those scenarios or who to target, how to get out, and how to survive. Needs to buy more TPs, obviously. I think.
I would have really liked to see him try a night